The Ayodhya Ram Mandir will be ready to be inaugurated on January 1st, 2024. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah made this big announcement in Tripura during an election campaign, giving credit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the completion of the Ram Mandir. He also slammed the Congress for hindering the construction of the holy shrine in the courts of law. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge took a potshot in return at the Home Minister, questioning if he was the mahant of the temple to be making an announcement in public regarding the same. Well, the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya touches an emotional chord with the majority Hindu population within the country and outside of it. The temple is akin to Megha, the holiest and the most sacred city in Islam, and Jerusalem, the birthplace of Jesus. Congress getting its hand dirty once again in an emotive issue close to the hearts of Hindus may not bode well for the party, as has been seen in the past as well. The 1st January 2024 will commence with the countdown to the general elections, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi fighting for the third consecutive term. The inauguration of the Ayodhya Mandir will be an apt narrative to set the ball rolling in BJP's favour. But Ayodhya Ram Mandir is much bigger than an election plank. It is a matter of religious significance and obeisance for the 1.2 billion Hindus across the globe. It's a celebration of the Hindu religion. It's the reinstallation of the holiest of the holy sites of the Hindus who throng Ayodhya for its religious and cultural significance. Let's open up this discussion. Rahul Ishwar on the telecast with me. Rahul, the big announcement being made, irrespective of whether it has been made by Home Minister Amit Shah or the mahant of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, it's an emotive issue for Hindus, and it's a cause of celebration that the Mandir, after decades and decades of languishing in the courts of law, is now finally almost ready and set to be inaugurated come 2024.
Was a great Ram Bhakt. Mahatma Gandhi ardently followed Sri Ram. And even Allama Muhammad Iqbal used to call Sri Ram Imam-e-Hind. Ram is the cultural nerve center of the largest Hindu majority in India and the largest Muslim majority in Indonesia. If you go to Indonesia, we are having Hotel Ramayana. We can see Sri Ram and Sita being very popular Muslim names. So Ram is a cultural nerve center of Asia itself. Along with a devotee like me, he is a spiritual center too. He is a Bhagavan, he is a God, he is a deity or an avatar. So irrespective of anybody making this, and I seriously don't believe Amit Shah ji, being a statesman that he is, has any other intentions, because there is a spiritual significance. Of course, there are political subtexts. Nobody is denying the fact. There may be political undertones, there may be political overtones, but beyond that, we have waited for centuries to have this Ram Mandir being realized. And one more particular thing personal to me, I am overjoyed because 3 or 4 months back, I had the privilege to be taken inside the Ram Mandir. We saw all the construction happening there. We had a great courtesy welcome from the UP police. So, it was a goosebump kind of a moment. It is something, very tough to convey. So you had goosebumps. You are going to the same spot where Lord Sri Ram walked thousands and thousands of years back. It's a great spiritual significance to all of us. So beyond politics, it is an eternal, it's a Sanatana, eternal, timeless monument to our Indian civilization, and we should celebrate it. And I would urge our Congress friends and people from all the parties to come together, leaving apart all their political inhibitions, and celebrate this occasion that comes once in many centuries.
I absolutely agree with you. Rahul Ishwar, could not have put it better myself. I'm going to also put out the Home Minister's conversation that he had with the public and the announcement that he made yesterday in Tripura. Take a look.
आप मुझे बताओ, अयोध्या में रामलल्ला का मंदिर बनना चाहिए या नहीं बनना चाहिए? जरा अंत तक बोलो, जोर से बोलना चाहिए या नहीं बनना चाहिए? जब से बाबर तोड़कर गया तब से, और जब से आजाद हुआ तब से, देश आजाद हुआ तब से, एक कांग्रेसी इसको कोर्ट के अंदर उलझा रहे थे, और सेशन कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट, फिर सेशन कोर्ट. मोदी जी आए, एक दिन सुबह सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आया और मोदी जी ने उसी दिन रामलल्ला के मंदिर का भूमि पूजन पूरा कर मंदिर का निर्माण चालू कर दिया. 2019 के चुनाव में मैं पार्टी का अध्यक्ष था, और राहुल बाबा कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष थे. तो राहुल बाबा हर रोज पूछते थे मंदिर वहीं बनाएंगे, तिथि नहीं बताएंगे। और राहुल बाबा कान खोलकर सुन लो, और सब रूम वालों आप भी टिकट करा लो। 1 जनवरी 2024 को अयोध्या में गगनचुंबी राम मंदिर वहां पर आपको तैयार मिलेगा।
So there you heard it from the man himself. 1st January 2024, he is appealing to everybody across the country to get their tickets sorted to arrive at Ayodhya for the mega inauguration, and it is going to be a mega celebration for Hindus across the world, 1.2 billion of them. And like you said, Rahul Ishwar, the fact that it is the Dharmasthal, it is the celebration of the Sanatan Dharma, not just for the Hindus, but for countries in the ASEAN nations, in the subcontinent, Sri Lanka, whether it is Malaysia, whether it is Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, they have all been centers of prayers, of temples, of the idols of Lord Ram that they have worshipped for centuries together after the religion was taken from India, from down south into these countries, and by way of the structures, the monuments that have been built of such grand stature. But I'm going to get in Mithun Vijay Kumar, and I cannot shy away from the politics. I cannot shy away from the politics because it is Amit Shah during a poll campaign in Tripura who has raised this matter of inaugurating the temple, and in the same breath castigating Congress for having denied Hindus the right to the birthplace of their Lord Ram, that is also the sacred place for Hindu, which up until now had been mired in controversy and in court cases. So Mithun, 2024, it is going to be the Lok Sabha elections. Is this just a poll plank, or this is much larger, much bigger than a one tiny general election come 2024?
The Ram Mandir and its politics has always been there in India, and if you can see, Congress has used this Ram Mandir issue for political gains, sometimes criticizing BJP and sometimes claiming that they support the idea of having Ram Mandir. Even yesterday, now since Karnataka is going to face elections, a Congress leader in Karnataka has said that the Congress party is the party which opened doors of Ram Mandir inside the Babri Masjid, and former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was instrumental in allowing puja to be performed. So Congress's stand was not clear about this issue, and that's what I believe Amit Shah was trying to hint in his statement. Now, coming to the building of this temple itself, in a country that's built on the idea of pluralism, I believe such ideas like Lord Ram, they must be emulated in these times when hatred, greed for power, and extremism have gripped the world. It is important that icons like Ram be emulated, and Lord Ram's values constitute one of the actually India's core consciousness, and they are relevant even today. So Ram Mandir in Ayodhya is not just about politics or a war between BJP and Congress. It is actually a resurrection of a damaged national spirit. It's a tribute to the man with the highest human values, morality, and ideals that today's world needs to take inspiration from. And like Sri Rahul Ishwar said, Ram is a cultural nerve center not just of India but of Asia as well.
I agree with you. Joyita, I'm going to come to you. Ram Temple, the Janmabhoomi that has such massive significance for Hindus, is not just for the Hindus. It's a way of life that Lord Ram, the ideal man, the ideal husband, the ideal son, dictated through the way he lived his entire life in the Ramayana. Now, in way of that Bhavya Mandir, the majestic temple that is going to be built, that is in the process of being built, visuals on your screens of that temple. There is a 3D notification that is taking you through the entire infrastructure, entire architecture, and it's majestic, it's grand, and that's how it should be. It is the birthplace of Lord Ram. This is the holiest of the holy shrines for Hindus. And this requires the kind of stature, the kind of importance, the kind of significance it is getting. But also the kind of economic development by way of religious tourism that Ayodhya and the vicinity is going to face, is going to procure, is going to gain out of. How do you look forward to the 1st of January 2024? Because it is, as months pass by, up until the countdown, it's going to be celebration. It's going to be a national celebration. It is in fact going to be an international celebration with perhaps priests from Indonesia and Cambodia and Malaysia and Sri Lanka all being brought in for this mega celebration.
Yeah, Megha, you're absolutely right. Now, when it comes to, you're talking about in terms of celebration and how the city is getting kind of, Ayodhya town actually is kind of getting set to getting ready to, the tourists will be coming over there. They have started building a corridor like the way they have built something in Varanasi, that Kashi Vishwanath corridor. A similar corridor is being built in Ayodhya, because of which I would say, because I was just seeing some latest photographs, just last week's photographs, where a large part of the city is in ruins right now. Ayodhya, and leading up to the Ram temple, it is exactly the way I would say Vishwanath, the area surrounding Kashi Vishwanath temple was in, I would say, in 2019. So when you are looking at the Ram temple, I don't see the corridor part being ready by end of this year, because I think that will take at least 3 years. Because if you are looking at 2019 Varanasi, from there when they had started the corridor project to 2022, it took about 2-3 years for them to finish it as much as possible. Even now, a large part of the corridor is being, I think, still constructed. But at the same time, I am told that work is going on in real speed with actual temple complex. And given and compared to Varanasi, when you are looking at, I would say it is the same scale, the kind of faithfulness that Indians have towards Ram, towards Lord Vishwanath, it's similar. So I would say it's a very important place of pilgrimage it is going to develop as. And if people have to travel over there, what is needed is, you see, right now connectivity is very bad, okay? Because people have to go to either Lucknow and from there either take a train or they have to travel by car to reach Ayodhya. So all these logistical problems will have to be taken care of inside this year. Because once it is open, once it is inaugurated on 1st of January, Ayodhya will see a flood of visitors, a flood of pilgrims. So let us hope this throughout this year, the planning part of the logistic part is taken care of.
It will be taken care of. There are going to be people in the numbers of millions who would be visiting the Ayodhya Ram temple on the inauguration, and mind you, the celebrations are going to be spectacular. It's going to be a spectacle that is going to be witnessed by the world. I have with me Savio Rodriguez as well. Savio, is there a way to differentiate and distinguish the big mega celebrations that we will witness in Ayodhya on 1st of January 2024 on the completion of the Ram Janmabhoomi temple, and the politics that comes with it, whether it is Amit Shah making a commentary and attacking Congress for letting the project be languishing since time immemorial, since independence of the country, versus what Mallikarjun Kharge then taking a potshot again at Amit Shah, saying that is he a mahant to be announcing the dates? Why is he getting involved in the religious activities of the Janmabhoomi?
Megha, the job of a politician is to go about making statements that derive some amount of truth and some amount of controversy. And Congress politicians are known to doing that. So it's nothing surprising over there. The most important part in which I find
But was the comment that was made by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah also seeking to rake controversy?
Not really. There's a fact attached to it. Ayodhya has had and is a place that has extreme religious significance to a large amount of the Hindus in India. And therefore, it was incumbent on any government at any point of time to work towards the, reconciling this fact and ensuring that the Ayodhya temple becomes a reality. That, however, has been done now in the time that BJP has been in power. And they are working extremely hard towards ensuring that not only the temple, but Ayodhya as a destination becomes a destination that is talked about not only in India, but globally. You see, certain religious destination, let's take the Vatican in Rome today, Vatican on its own and the neighboring aspects of Rome. You see a lot of tourism flocking over there because that's the epicenter of the Catholic faith. And that's why millions of people from all over the world come over there. You could go to places like Lourdes, which is another very important destination, religious destination from a Catholic faith. And there also a lot of pilgrims go, a lot of tourism happens in that area. So in much the same way, Ayodhya is something that has got to connect with millions of Hindus all over the world, not only in India. It is a potential tourism destination, pilgrimage destination of very, very high value. Therefore, you will see tourism take off in a planned manner, and that's how the government has been progressing and will work. Yes. It has not happened yet, but it will happen. So when instead of getting into the politics of their statements, what is important for us as Indians, and I'm a Christian and I can tell you, I am most happy to see Ayodhya becoming a reality. Why? Because I see Ayodhya as a destination for my Hindu brothers and sisters. And just like I would feel proud of a Christian going to Vatican and living in the faith out there, I'm extremely happy and proud that our Hindu brothers and sisters can live their faith over here. That's the beauty of India. The beauty of India is that we have so much of diversity.
Yes.
And today, Ayodhya, if planned well, and which I know the government is doing, will become not only the topmost pilgrimage destination, it will also eventually be a very, very potential tourism destination for India, where millions of tourists will come to look at the beauty of Ayodhya, to understand the beauty of Ayodhya, and to reinstill the Sanatan Dharma that India has taken not only in India but across the world.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right, Savio. And when the court case got settled, and the 10 acres or the 13 acres of land that was provided to build the magnanimous, majestic Ram temple in Ayodhya, there was also plans of building the museums, building the parks, and actually, if you can actually take a look at the 3D representation, the temple is majestic with this massive infrastructure, interior decoration, the pillars that form the corridor, that have the engravings, that have the sculptures, that are going to be fitted with idols. There is going to be the sthapana, the installation of Lord Ram's idol that is going to take place. Eventually, when the date of the inauguration is decided, the temple itself is going to be completed, readied by the 1st of January to come 2024. Rahul, as Savio was saying, this is going to be a national heritage. This is not just relegated to one faith, one religion for the Hindus, but this is a world-class religious tourism site that is being built in the process, almost in the process of completion, and it has to be world-class. The way India is synonymous with the Taj Mahal in Agra, India will then be eventually synonymous with the Ram Janmabhoomi temple in Ayodhya.
Yes, I totally agree with Brother Savio, what he said. Absolutely, there is a spiritual significance, cultural significance, tourism significance, economic significance, civilizational resurgence significance. Let me point out one irony for ordinary Indians. Back in 2019, Sri Lanka sent their first satellite to the space, and Sri Lanka named it Ravan. We have pseudo-intellectuals in India who says there was no Ram or either Ravan. We have such pseudo-secular culture in India where intellectuals go on claiming that, Ravana lived somewhere in North India or somewhere south of India, there is no Ravana. They go on disputing about Sri Ram. They go on giving false affidavits in Honorable Supreme Court regarding Ram Setu. When Sri Lanka celebrates, even though it is a failed king from their part, when Sri Lanka can celebrate Ravana by, naming the satellite, the most scientific advancement satellite being sent to space, many of us are even shy to celebrate Sri Rama, who is the soul of the father of the nation inspiration. Mahatma Gandhi too. Mahatma Gandhi used to start every important meeting with Ram Bhajan. He was an ardent Ram Bhakt. His last words were Sri Ram. And even in our constitution, the fundamental rights, the most important part in the first constitutional scheme of things, Sri Ram and Lakshman and Sita were described in the calligraphic model of the Indian constitution. So Sri Ram is at the soul of India. Sri Ram and Sri Krishna are two of the glorious civilizational icons of India. Along with that, we have a great pluralistic framework too. We have perhaps one of the oldest Christian communities in the world in Kerala, where I come from. We are proud of it. We are proud about Chairman Peribal Mosque, which is perhaps the third oldest mosque in the world. We have the ancient most Jews coming here, our Jew brothers and sisters. We have Lord Buddha, of course, the light of Asia coming from us. We have such great spiritual cultural heritage, which we fail to celebrate because of a pseudo-secular, I'm sorry to be open saying, a Nehruvian pseudo-secular culture. I respect Nehruji, but the pseudo-secular Nehruvian culture, which denigrated or which renegated, which sidelined and deleted the Hindu cultural ethos, was damaging. We need a pluralistic framework of Gandhian pluralism, but unfortunately, institutionalized pseudo-secularism deleted, negated our cultural heritage. I respect all the parties. I don't belong to any party, but after Modi ji, what happened was there was a cultural independence, there was a cultural renaissance, there was a cultural rejuvenation that happened, rather than a systemic sidelining of the majority culture or the dharmic culture of this nation. It was a resurgence after Modi ji came, and that is what every nation needs. Every nation needs to be proud about their culture. And I would like to end by saying, when Sri Lanka can celebrate Ravana, in India, there are pseudo-secular historians who say Ram even didn't exist. These kind of pseudo-narratives we should be able to intellectually counter and expose.
Joyita, have we been able to cull the kind of narrative that Rahul Ishwar mentions and has been perhaps the bane of the existence of the pseudo-intellectuals in our country? What more needs to be done?
Megha, when you look at what has been happening in our country, we have been, I would say, all these years systematically kind of been told that you have to be ashamed of your religion, number one. You have to be ashamed of your culture, and whatever you practices, it is basically superstition. You have to look at the so-called, the West, the so-called superior West. But look at, for example, Rahul Ishwar talked about Sri Lanka. I'm going to talk about Indonesia, which is a Muslim majority country. Look at what is the name of their one of the main airlines over there. It is called Garuda. And where is Garuda coming from? Garuda is coming from the Ramayana. Okay, and look at Southeast Asia, where these are all Muslim countries, and they are upholding Ramayana as part of their culture, while we are being told that you need to be ashamed of what you are, because that makes you, quote unquote primitive. That makes you a non-modern, unmodern. Okay. So that makes you kind of believing in superstition. So this is one realization that has, what had happened, I would say, until 2014, people would not go around, I wouldn't even use the word religion. This was something that was to be practiced in private. But at the same time, there was active opposition, I would say, at the level of the government, where even wearing that kalwa, that red thread, was looked down upon. We have enough reports of, even at the time that PMO and all, they discouraged it. All right, that you should not be showing that you are a Hindu.
You're a Hindu. So there are symbols that indicate that you are Hindu or a practicing Hindu. Okay. So Mithun, we have come a long way from shying away from our culture, from our religion, so much so that if somebody visited the temple, the person was looked down upon as somebody who is uneducated, who's primitive, who does not understand the ways of the world, versus now when this is a cumulative celebration of all things that are indicative of being a true Hindu. Whether it is about the Ram Setu suit that is languishing in the courts of the law, whether it is about the Ram temple that is being built, whether it is about the several other cases that are being fought in various high courts in Allahabad or elsewhere, or for that matter, the temples that have been destroyed and the heritage that has in turn been destroyed in the northern part of our country, whether it is Kashmir, whether it is Delhi, whether it is Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, like the previous panelist said, the pseudo-secular culture in this country was kind of, anti-Hindu. If you see, the pseudo-seculars are the ones who tell Australians and the, Americans to apologize to the Aboriginals. But when it comes to India, they teach you how to discard Hindu culture systematically.
Yeah.
And I believe in this attempt to be politically correct, the courts of India had delayed the verdict of Ayodhya, and it was delayed for these many years. And in a nation like India with a pluralistic framework, settlement of disputes in an amicable manner is what matters the most. And for any government, settlement of such disputes that affect the secular fabric of the nation should be of prime importance. And that's what we saw under the governance of Modi. So, even if the left is criticizing or whatever they say, such disputes were amicably settled under this government is what we can see. So today when Amit Shah announces the date of completion of Ram Mandir, it's a moment of pride for all those who, struggled to make this temple a reality, and also a tribute to those innocent car sevaks who were mercilessly killed in Ayodhya for minority appeasement.
Okay. Savya, then a quick last word from you. Why Amit Shah would end up choosing a campaigning plank in Tripura to make the announcement? Could it have been made apolitically, or does it work both ways? While it is national heritage, while it is the pride of Hindus, this also helped the Prime Minister and the BJP win election after election, assembly and general.
Well, I can't really say about that, Megha, but what I must say and must congratulate the government led by Narendra Modi is that they've been consistent as far as their focus to the Ayodhya temple has been about. Now, why is that important? Let me put it to you in this way. You see, Ayodhya as a temple is a part of our cultural roots. So even though I'm a Christian by faith, my cultural roots continue to be Hindu, and that's why I support it. Today, the large Hindu majority believes and have faith in Ram and the power and the spirituality that Ram brings in their life, or Krishna brings in their life, then I respect that. Therefore, I become a part of it. I remember when I had gone to the Ganga and Haridwar and I took a dip, a brother from the Christian community actually put out a message to me saying that you and your family will be cursed by Jesus for the next 7 lifetimes. I replied back saying to him that, listen, the Jesus you believe is not the Jesus I believe in, because I'm here being a part of my cultural heritage. I am a Hindu by my roots, right? So my faith can be Christian. My faith is in Sanatan Dharma. It's in accepting all religion. It's accepting the humanity of people. It's accepting the God in them. And that's what Ayodhya stands for. It stands for the belief of our land. It stands for the cultural history of our land. Why shouldn't we support it? Why shouldn't we stand by it? That's the real message. The message is Ayodhya is a message of India. Ayodhya is the message of Sanatan Dharma. And Sanatan Dharma will travel around the world, and people will open their eyes in the time of conflict that the only beacon of light is Sanatan Dharma.
And on that note, I'll have to conclude this conversation, this discussion with my panelists. I'm once again going to urge my audiences, my viewers, take a look at that 3D representation of the Ram temple. If you can play that once again. Stunning infrastructure, stunning architecture. The interiors have been done beautifully. If we can have those visuals on our screens, please, of the 3D representation of the Ram temple. There you have it. Made in the 10 acres of land that has been won under the disputed site that Janmabhoomi was up until very recently. The structure is majestic, it's beautiful, it's spectacular. And come 1st January 2024, there are going to be millions and millions of Hindus, and not just Hindus, people from various faiths across the country, across the world, who would be thronging the area for the inauguration. This is a massive achievement. In fact, the holiest of the holy shrines of Hindus finally getting a shape and form by way of the Ram temple in Ayodhya. Thanks for watching NewsX.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.